Given the fact that this is my first video, I feel like I should give somewhat of an introduction. So, hello, my name's Scott, I'm from the UK and I'm 20. I've been cubing for about 8 or 9 years now. Most of this time I wasn't actually actively cubing, more so just had cubes lying around and would solve them occasionally. I didn't really take it very seriously until 2019, which is when I finally decided to start learning advanced CFOP, F2L, OLL, PLL, that kind of stuff. I started cubing again in September of 2023 and at the time averaged about 19 seconds, and it's currently February 24 and I'm now down to about a 12 or 13 second average. Given the fact that I've been cubing for so long, I've accumulated a lot of knowledge over the years, just not necessarily knew how to apply it until very recently. This video is going to be just 3x3 example solves. I'm doing the format where I'm just looking at the scramble and talking about the scramble rather than timing it and then talking about it afterwards. The reason being is my knowledge is much better out of a solve rather than in a solve, because there's still a lot of bad habits and things I don't do during a solve. My times are still really good, but I know that there's so much more that I can improve during a timed solve, and my main focus for this video is to try and get just as much information from my brain into yours. I decided like it would be a fun little format to mix up 9 mosaic cubes that I've got and then go through 9 example solves. There's only going to be 3 in this video. The 3 in this video don't get too technical, and I've decided to try and make this as accessible as possible no matter who's watching. So I'm going to be doing the other 6 solves in separate videos just so that it doesn't end up being one really stupidly long video. So that's all I've got for now, and that's my little introduction. Now we'll just get straight into the solves. So the first one, we've got a really nice white cross solution. We can just put in blue, and then these two can be put in together quite nicely. So I would do R2, and then I would put orange and green in like this. A little bit hard on this one. And then L2. I'd probably start with red and green here, so you'd have to rotate and put the red edge over here. And when the colors aren't the same like this, you can just take the corner out like that and it'll pair it up. So from this angle, you just do this. That pairs it up, and then you can insert in the back with R prime, U2, R. Not sure if I would have caught this in a solve, but red and blue would probably be a good next option, because if you bring the edge down to here, that's going to pair them up. So you can do that and insert. And this is actually a nice case. So from this angle specifically, you can do a wide U prime, insert this corner into here, and then finish with a D. And then you don't have to rotate for this last slot, which was in the back. But we've got a nice last slot case. So you just put the corner at the back, and you want to move this edge over here like that, and then insert. This is quite a nice OLL actually, so it just goes like this. So sledge, and then move the pair back over, and then sledge again. Okay, so then PLL prediction. So this is the one we've got here. We've got these opposite colors here, which means this is a G perm. Now, there's 2 that it could be. So you've got these 2 cases here, and they look almost identical. The only difference is these colors on the side here. So if you've got kind of like the start of a H perm here, if I block out this sticker, these are all opposites, is how you can think of it. And that means it's the one with the block at the back here, like that. So if you just see this, then you know it's this one here. And the inverse, you could just think if there's no opposite, then it's this one. But you could also think of these being the opposite colors as well. So block off this sticker, and it kind of continues the pattern. But obviously in this case, we've got this one. So another block is going to be on these stickers. And there we are. So the way that I do this one is, I haven't quite decided if it's better off to do, because you need to do a D move somewhere in between. But you can either start with the D and then do this, meaning you don't have to do it at the end. Or you can just do this, do the D move now. Then you have to do the D move at the end. Most of the time I'll opt to do the D move at the start, because I just don't like to have to fix that. At the last step I always get it wrong, so, but for this G perm, D, and then this, together like that. And I didn't do what I said I was going to do, but there you go. I think yellow is probably going to be the best option. just because there's a lot of easy pieces we've got here. One's already connected, so it saves you figuring out that one. By the way, strongly recommend become dual color neutral between white and yellow. I know a lot of people refuse to do this. If you really don't want to follow along through yellow, just solve the cube and then redo the scramble with yellow top, green front, and then you'll get the same scramble, but this will be white. So for this one, I suppose you could just go F2. Now what we're going to do is we're going to push out blue. So we're going to replace red through blue. And then this is where blue needs to go, so we're just going to put this spot over here. Bring up the blue. And then now what we can do is, again, orange needs to go into this slot. So D prime again, L2, and then finish off the cross. And for first pair, I probably would have seen this, which isn't great. But what we can do from this angle is we can do that, which pairs it up, and then insert into the back. I'm seeing these two as well, which is not going to get affected by putting this into the back, but you're going to need to rotate. There is this as well, which I think I'll actually go for because I can do this into the back. Rotationless. The way that you figure out if you need a rotation or not is you have to look at the edge orientation of the edges as well. This is something that not a lot of people actually pick up on until quite late. So for an F2L edge, if the front color matches either the front or back center, then you're going to need to rotate because it can't be inserted with R and U moves, because then it'll be flipped. But if the front color matches with the side, then you know you can do this without a rotation. So when you're doing slow solves, if you notice that you're doing cases where the edge is matched up with multiple rotations, there's definitely a better way to do it. But for this case, I would put the edge here and just pair these up like that. And now I've got these two and these ones. Probably do these into the back, if I'm honest. See what you can do, put it over here, and then you do R, bring this edge over here, U2, and now you can do an R2 to pair it up, and you prime to get it at the back there. So now we're going to just do these like normal, and from here I can see that when I insert this pair, this edge is going to come, or basically this one's going to come here actually, so we're going to have a case with two edges for OLL. So you could possibly look around and try and start to figure out what this would be. I haven't done much of two-sided OLL recognition yet, but there's two cases this could be. It'd either be the one with a block at the back, or it could not have a block at the back. In this case, it's quite important to know though, because if it is the case with the block in the back, I don't need to rotate and I could start doing it from this angle straight away. But as you can see in this case, that's actually not the one. So it would be good to know straight away if this was the other case, because then I could just start doing it straight away. Now I'll do this case like this. And then for PLL, this is an R-perm. The way you can tell is this very obvious checkerboard pattern here. If we block this sticker, same color, blue, red, blue, red, blue. And that means that it's going to be the R-perm with a block at the side here. There you go. So there would be, from this angle, it would be a U2. And then for AUF, just on this R-perm, if you memorize that with this algorithm, which is, I think, the standard one, if this color matches the front, then you don't need to do any AUF. There we go. Right, I think white would be a good option here. So what I can see is this. So these opposite colors, they're both attached to the opposite centers. So this is good because when we put them both down, they'll be in the right spot, regardless of whether we do that or had them flipped. But what I also see is this orange can be set up into the right spot as well by putting in green. If you really wanted to for this one, you could actually face this side and do an M prime, and that would have the same effect as just going L and R prime, which might be a bit easier to do, but we are going to have to do a B prime to put in this orange, because we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to do that. So I'd probably just do L to put in blue. What I'm going to do in this case actually is, because this red's also back here, I'm going to do R2 and then F to connect it to this one and put this one in like that. And then these two finish that off, so like that. That also solved this corner. I mean, we could, had we've done a different solution, maybe there's something could have been done with this, but the edge that we need to make an X cross is in here, and I don't think there's any good way to put this one over here and try and make an X cross. I think it would just waste time, so we're just going to do D2 and solve the cross. And then for the first pair, we can do red and green because it's already set up to go into the back, which would be very nice. And while doing that, we can have a look around for what else. Notice we've got these two, which are going to be like this. We are going to need to rotate for this one, and it also would mean doing diagonal slots. So, but I'm not going to lie, this is probably what I would do in a solve. So we've got these two, so I'll just keep track of this as I solve this pair like that. Press them up. I'm going to rotate and do U2 and insert. That's actually going to pair up these ones as well, which is really nice. Like that. So for this pair, we're going to have to rotate to put this one in. So we could either just rotate, put it into the back like that. There's a few other ways you can do it as well. This is a really useful insert that you can use. You know, if you've got a slot solved here and you just want to get the back slot solved so you can have two front ones, you've got a pair like this, you can do wide L prime and then a U to put it into its slot. So like that. Now if you do an L prime to bring this back up, and you just reconnect this cross edge, is how you kind of remember it, then M prime. And then lastly, we've got this one in here, so we could just do this beginner way, like that, or like that, because I think that's what most people got taught. When I was learning, I used to do it this way to pair them up, and I'll just rotate and insert into there. There is another way you can do this one as well, which is up to you if you want to use, just, it's funny to show. So you have to, edge has to be here in the back, so it matches with this color, goes to the back. Then you can do F prime, then you can kind of connect these edges like that, move this with a U, and then insert this. But yeah, anyways, we've ended up with this dot case, which is not my favorite. It's got this unique pattern with like 3 at the back and then 2 on either side and 1 at the front. In my head, I kind of remember it as like this one's kind of snudged in by these 2 yellow bits, so it goes like this. And then for PLL now, so I know that this is going to be a diagonal swap case, and the way that you can tell is, this is something that's really important to understand for two-sided PLL recognition, is you have to look at the colours of the corners. If you've got opposites on both sides, for example, so we've got red, orange, opposite colours, blue, green, opposite colours, that means it's a diagonal swap. Here's the difference between the two basically. So on this one, you've got opposite colours on both sides, but on this one, you've only got opposite colours on one side. Obviously you can see these are not opposite. So, but it's still useful to look though, because for this one you can tell where the headlights are, because the headlights will always be opposite of the opposite colours. So these are the opposite colours, these ones are not. So I know the headlights are going to be on this side. And so it helps you just figure out a bit better. It basically allows you to see more without seeing more. But back to this one, we've got opposites and opposites. Probably an E-perm. Nope, it's a Y-perm, so there we go. Something I need to practice more. But there we go. So you can see opposites mean that it's a diagonal swap. So we'll just do Y-perm. There we go. Because this is my first video ever, it would mean a lot if you would consider subscribing and liking the video. I've got loads of plans for future videos and I want to make so much stuff, so if you enjoy watching Cuban content in general, you'd be doing yourself a favour by subscribing. I'm also really keen to hear some feedback as well, because this is my first video that I've ever made. If you think there's anything that I did wrong or did right, please let us know, because that's really helpful. If there's anything you would like to see us do, I'm also willing to hear any suggestions. But yeah, please let me know what you thought. I would really appreciate if you would like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. So I'm definitely gonna make this. Oh god, this is such a mess. This is such a mess. Oh.